Hey folks, Vernon Reed here, and Article a Day. I have another good article from Gartner regarding cybersecurity that I believe is worth sharing, so I am. I'm going to have the link in the comments, or I'll have it in the post um, title. So this particular one, the title of this article is "Whose Job Is It to Manage Cybersecurity? Hint, stop pointing at the CIO." This article was back in 2021, but I still believe that it is very relevant, and I'm sure CIOs would are loving to see this particular article, and I'm sure they would want to share it with some of their other executive leadership. So this graphic here, you know how Gartner does. They do a survey, they get the information from that survey, and it provides some analysis of that. It shows that 57% of folks believe that the CIO is responsible for cybersecurity. 29% believe that's the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer. 10% believe that it's other non-IT senior management, and 5% believe that it's other. And if you do some quick math here, when it comes to the Chief Information person, officer, or security officer, it looks like that's a total of 86%. So bottom line, folks are still saying, hey, look, when it comes to technology, or systems, or computer networks, etc., that the leadership hierarchy usually rolls up to the CIO or the CISO. In a more recent, let's say 10 to 15 years, CISOs are more prevalent within the executive structure. So, so they're saying, yeah, that makes sense, right? It should be the responsibility of the chief information X. However, Gartner is making a point that it really isn't. The fact of the matter is that it is that when it comes to cybersecurity, and this is correct, it is really a shared responsibility. If you are seeking to have an organization that has a strong cybersecurity posture, the responsibility needs to be shared across the board. It has to be shared by everyone. So statistics have shown that many security breaches come from within. For example, there may be an email that comes through and someone thinks it's legitimate, clicks on a link, and then enters some personal information or some credentials, right? And there you have a security breach. It might be someone putting something on their computer that maybe has some malware, or downloading something that possibly has some malware, and therefore that infected their system and spawned off from there. So when it comes to educating the organization population, we understand that everyone needs to be made aware and be educated on cybersecurity, the risk, and how and the correct actions to take in order to mitigate and to prevent any cybersecurity breach or attack. So in order for that to happen, that means that the leadership in all departments also has to take some responsibility. It has to be important to them as well. And so that's what Gartner is sharing here. I'll read just a little bit of this paragraph right here, where it says that CIOs must rebalance accountability for cybersecurity so that it is shared with business and enterprise leaders. They are thought of as the ultimate decision maker and authority for protecting the enterprise's security, but really, business leaders make decisions every day that impact the organization's security. Right? This last line is important here. Business leaders make decisions every day that impact the organization's security. Therefore, it should be a shared responsibility, especially at the executive level, when we're talking about cybersecurity. The last point I do want to make about this is that as I read through this, I agreed with Gartner on this, but I thought to myself, in order for it to be for it to really be a shared responsibility, um, there, there needs to be definitely a shared accountability. And my thought is usually you can tell who ultimately is responsible by who ultimately is made accountable if something doesn't go well, right? So when things go south, when the, you know what hits the fan, um, who do they point the fingers at, and who do they let go? Many times in the past, when it comes to cybersecurity attacks or breaches, et cetera, it's the CIO or it might be the CISO who might be let go. And so I think that there has to be a mindset change there as well. Whereas if something does go wrong, that the accountability is also shared. And therefore, it would be less of pointing the fingers and more of, okay, what do we need to do to improve? What do we need to do to ensure, um, uh, to enhance or to have a stronger security posture? And what can we learn from this, et cetera, instead of pointing fingers and saying, okay, look, this person got to go. Because at that point, it builds in a culture of, well, it's really on them. And therefore, you know, I'm not going to make cybersecurity important to me if I'm a non-IT business leader, because if things go wrong, it's really on them. So I think that also has to change where the accountability is also shared and it's seen as being shared. So that's my thoughts. Anyway, this was a good article. I didn't go through all of it. I wanted you guys to get the opportunity to read it yourselves. But let me know your thoughts on this. All right. Well, have a great day. Take care.